Trying to rain on the thunder. Tell the storm I'm new. I'ma march, I'ma walk on the regular, painting white flags blue. Lord forgive me, I've been running blind in truth. I'ma rain on this bitter love. Tell the sweet I'm womanist, a black feminist, a woman who loves other women, traditionally universalist, traditionally capable, so it is right that I, a woman black, should speak of white womanhood. You know, my fathers, my brothers, my husbands, my sons die for it. Because of it, still the Heritage Room was named in honor of its 24 mounted portraits of famous African Americans. The usual troika of black iconography is here. You know, they have former slaves, civil rights leaders, and athletes. And they each seem, if not angry, then intensely displeased. Even Rosa Parks looks like she could kill. But while common oppression is fine for rhetoric, it doesn't reflect the actual distance of oppression of black women who are unemployed and white women who are sick and tired of Playboy foldouts. Now, is there any logical comparison between the struggle of a black woman that's been systematically subjugated and the luxury of the suburban white woman? A recent article from the Huffington Post posits that fragmentation within the women's movement, specifically between black and white women, has contributed to the rapid decline of the movement and hindered the effectiveness of a shared collective identity. In this country, traditional feminist dialogue focuses mainly on the struggles of white women who didn't realize that the non-existence of civil rights for women of color preclude women's rights as a whole. But as feminism aims to break free of patriarchy, this program exhibits the division and pleads for all women to come together to break free the womanist in all of us. So, through the narrative, The Heritage Room by Gerald Walker, Freedom by Beyonce Knowles Carter, the article titled Being Black But Not Too Black in the Workplace from the Huffington Post, Historic Exclusion from Feminist Spaces from NBC News, and the poem A Black Woman Speaks of White Womanhood by Bea Richards. A program. Because womanist is to feminist as purple is to lavender. Here's to having a seat at the table as sisters. Sisters, they brought me here in chains. And you know, they brought you here, willing slaves to man you. Shiploads of women, each filled with hope that she would win with ruby lip and saucy curl and bright and flashing eye. And it was him to wife who had the largest tender, remember? And they sold you here, even as they sold me, my sisters, for once. I just want to see pictures of famous black people smiling. Now, you know, this picture right here was my exact expression when I received the harassment complaint filed against me by Julie. Ooh, I'm telling these tears go and fall away, oh. May the last one burn into contemporary missteps to acknowledge the ways in which multiple forms of oppression affect African American women. And the roots of the early feminist movement were entrenched in disregard for black women. But around the time of the Women's March, a white woman recognized that women of color were needed to be a part of the planning to gain the support of other non-white women. Man, after a contentious committee meeting, Julie wrote the chair and said, every time I spoke, my face would flush. But how? I'm black as hell. How does my face flush? And she went on saying that my hands would pound the desk like I was going to attack everybody that was a part of the committee. And you know, I tried explaining this to the chair. But it is true that my pearls were beads of sweat wrung from weary body's pain. Instead of rings upon my hands, I wore swollen and bursting veins, and you, women seeing, spoke no protest, but cuddled down in your pink slavery and thought that my wasted blood confirmed white feminists' early failures to acknowledge the ways in which black women suffer and are excluded from the suffrage movement. It still makes it difficult to join them in solidarity. We have been operating under the guise that there was unity class, and now we've been shown somewhere, man, during my banishment, I had the occasion of visiting Julie in her office, and it was late. I couldn't help but express my disappointment at being removed from the committee, simply because our positions differed, and she went on to say, no, I didn't report you to the chair. I just mentioned that your behavior was a bit unsettling because your necklace was of gold and you did not notice that it throttled speech. You bore the damning mockery of your marriage and you heaped your hate on me, a woman too. A slave more so, and you know when your husband disowned his seed, which was my son, and he sold him apart from me, you felt avenged. But understand this. I was not your enemy in this. I wasn't the source of your distress. I was your friend and I fought. But you wouldn't help me fight, thinking you helped only me. Your deceived eyes seeing only the patriarchy, a society in which men hold the power and women, or those who are seen to be inferior, are excluded from it. Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. Freedom, freedom, where are you? 'Cause I need freedom too, and I break chains all by myself. Won't let my freedom rot in hell. Hey, I'ma keep it winning, 'cause a winner don't quit on themselves. Man, the only thing I did in this meeting was argue my point, like, aggressively, passionately, maybe even a bit self-righteously, but not angrily. And even if I had been angry, can I not express this emotion without it being a precursor to violence? Since then, I have tried to put the matter behind me, but the Women's March initially felt like a repeat of historic missteps. But by adding 3 respected women of color, it gave intersectional feminism a platform, and saying, it's not white women's issues, it's not black women's issues. It means that we are going to lead with and include everyone. We haven't seen the level of attack that we're about to see in a couple of generations, but this is an all hands on deck call. So what will you do? Will you fight with me? But if you will, then take my hand, and the hand of Rosa Ingram, and the hand of Rosalie McGee. White supremacy is your enemy and mine. But as we set about our plan, let our wholehearted fight be peace in a world where there is equality. So, class, once again, a womanist, a black feminist, a woman who loves other women, traditionally universalist, traditionally capable.